Hi, Mark Small, Simple Discourse Now. If you're wondering why I'm doing this podcast instead of, I've had a blog for since late 2010, and I'd never had a post that I had from my blog, Civil Discourse Now. I never had it removed or received any kind of official notice I'd violated any kind of rules. And then in June, I criticized Micah Beckwith, who's the nominee for the Republican Party for Lieutenant Governor of the state of Indiana. Now, Beckwith he ran for U.S. House in 2020. That's how I first encountered him. And I had interactions were rather raucous. Because initially it said, I can debate anybody, and was really nasty. I said, fine, let's do it. And he wouldn't. So my blogs in June on Facebook started being pulled. And they were pulled because I violated standards. Now, at the same time, he had his little buddies saying, man, we got the Beckwith Brigade or battalion, and they were going to, do something. And obviously, they want to stop any kind of dissent. Let me say why this is dangerous, especially from somebody like Beckwith. Beckwith has weapons training in his church, which is kind of scary. He also believes that women really don't have a right to determine their own health. In other words, he's against abortion in all cases. In case you thought that your children could attend public school in Indiana and not be subjected to crap. Okay, let me be clear too. I'm not kind of mamby-pamby as a progressive. It's bullshit. Well, he's going to put it in there because he said as lieutenant governor, he's going to go in those classrooms and make sure that they're teaching history right. He doesn't know history. He tries to say that our Constitution creates a Christian country. Now, here's where it gets really strange, because he says that God talks to him, okay? And here's the bad part, because January 7th, 2021, he said God told him, Micah, that was my hand you saw at work yesterday. I sent those riots to Washington. Then earlier this year, Beckwith said, well, they weren't riots, they weren't an insurrection. I think God was a little carried away on that. What? In other words, he makes it up as he goes along. When you put in combination with that he's wanting that power, and he believes that we got to have guns. Ooh, that Second Amendment there, that's dangerous. Now, I've been blocked on Facebook. I had never had anything removed or blocked before. And I've written 2 things to Facebook saying, what's this about? I mean, I footnote what I write. He pulls out of his ass what he's going to say God says. Well, here's a problem. We've got an election coming up in November. And it's people like Beckwith who want to get power. They get in, they're not going to give that power up. He has nothing in terms of like the good of the people in mind. I don't know of what kind of bizarre image a person would have in order to accept a God that would be as hateful as the God of Micah Beckwith. But he also wants to have a say in what goes on in classes, because they're not teaching exceptionalism that the United States should control everything. They're not teaching real history. All I can do is get on here to get around that. So I really had to vent this evening. I'll be back and describe what it is, what we have to do this fall. One of the things we don't want to do is allow somebody like Beckwith, who's not lead on the ticket. Mike Braun's lead on the ticket, and that's bad enough. But he really ought to be looking over his shoulder at any given time. And we should consider, if he wins the election, giving him a budget for having taste testers just in case. Peace.